This is Bryan. What's wrong, Bryan?
I'm worried. This is Cara.
I'm not.
Oh.
You're watching
Tales from the Trunk. And today we're going to read Worried Arthur.
And it's by Joan Stimson. Enjoy!
Worried Arthur by Joan Stimson. Arthur was a penguin and a warrior. Arthur worried about whether he would grow as tall as his father. He worried because his hair stood on end. And now, of all things, Arthur was worried about Christmas. One day, Arthur came home from school. He looked even more worried than usual. "And what have you been doing today?" asked Dad.
Map of the world, mumbled Arthur.
He didn't sound too happy about it. "And where do we live?" asked Dad. He did hope Arthur was concentrating.
It's called Antarctica, said Arthur. And it's near the South Pole.
"Well done, Arthur," beamed Dad. That night, Arthur padded across the landing. He climbed onto Dad's bed and tugged at his pajamas.
I'm worried, Dad, he whispered.
Dad stopped snoring and woke up with a start. "What is it, Arthur?"
It's the map of the world, Dad. We live at the South Pole, and Santa Claus lives at the North Pole. What if he gets tired before he arrives here? What if he runs out of toys?
"Well, you can stop worrying about that," said Dad firmly. "Santa Claus got down here all right when I was a lad, and he still had plenty of toys left." Arthur looked less worried. He trotted back to bed and fell asleep. On the last day of term, Arthur brought home his school report. He hovered nervously while Dad read all about him. "Well done, Arthur. You've worked hard all term. And although your writing is rather illegible, it's nothing to worry about." That night, Arthur kept his light on late. It took him a long time to find illegible in his dictionary. And when he did, it was all very worrying. In the middle of the night, Arthur padded across the landing. He shuffled round the end of Dad's bed and biffed him on the beak.
I'm worried, Dad, he whispered.
Dad stopped snoring and woke up with a start. "What is it, Arthur?"
It's my writing, Dad. What if Santa Claus can't read it? What if he doesn't bring the things on my list?
"Well, you can stop worrying about that," said Dad firmly. "For your information, Santa Claus is the world's leading expert on handwriting. Good heavens, he'd soon be out of a job if he couldn't read double Dutch." Arthur looked less worried and went back to sleep. 2 days before Christmas, it began to snow heavily. Dad got out Arthur's toboggan. Some of Arthur's friends came out to play, and they all made a snowman together. Arthur was tired out when he went to bed, but he still woke up worrying. Just after midnight, Arthur padded across the landing. He opened Dad's curtains.
I'm worried, Dad, he whispered.
Dad stopped snoring and woke up with a start. "Whatever is it this time, Arthur?" Arthur pulled Dad over to the window.
It's the weather, Dad. It started to snow again. What if there's great big drifts on Christmas Eve? What if Santa can't get through?
"Well, you can stop worrying about that," said Dad firmly. "You don't think Santa Claus will be put off by a bit of snow, do you? Whatever do you think he's got those hulking great reindeer for?" Arthur looked less worried and went back to sleep. On Christmas Eve, Dad and Arthur decorated their tree. They put their presents underneath, and Arthur wrote his labels very clearly. After supper, Dad sat on the end of Arthur's bed and read him a story. It was Arthur's favourite, but he still looked worried. "Now look here, son," said Dad. "I could use a good night's sleep. So, if there's anything worrying you, you'd better get it off your chest."
It's my room, whispered Arthur. What if Santa Claus comes into my room and sees all my books and toys? What if he thinks I don't deserve any more?
Well, you can stop worrying about that, said Dad firmly. If Santa Claus only brought presents to deserving children, he would only need to work part-time. But if it makes you feel any better, we can leave him a note. So Arthur and Dad left a message at the top of the stairs. It suggested, very tactfully, that Santa might like to leave Arthur's gifts on the landing.
Dear Santa, please, if it is at all possible, as my bedroom is a little untidy, could you leave any presents just here? Love, Arthur. P.S. There is a mince pie in the kitchen for you.
As soon as they'd written the note, Arthur looked less worried. There's just one more thing, said Dad.
Yes, Dad?
If anything else worries you in the night, Arthur, keep it to yourself until tomorrow. But that night Arthur and Dad both slept like logs. The next morning, Arthur sat up in bed.
Ouch!
He banged his head on the shelf above his bed.
Yippee! Cried Arthur. I must be growing!
He jumped out of bed and looked in the mirror. Arthur smoothed down his hair, and it stayed there. Then he looked out on the landing. Sure enough, there was a stocking filled with everything Arthur had asked for. Arthur waited patiently for Dad to wake up. At last, he came onto the landing. Merry Christmas, Arthur. And how are you feeling this morning?
I feel funny, Dad, said Arthur.
Then he smiled.
It must be because I'm not worrying.
Okay, I'm not worried anymore.
That's good news.
Yeah.
We hope you sleep tight. We hope you sleep tight. Have a good night. From Cara.
And from Bryan, thank you for joining us.